Fantastic Four First Steps, which for me was more like Fantastic Four Missteps. Listen, I know a lot of people like this film, and that's fine. You can be my guest. This year, I've liked Magazine Dreams, I liked Hard Eyes, I liked F1 with Brad Pitt, I liked Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett, I liked that Looney Tunes film, The Day the Earth Blew Up. There were films I liked. But maybe it's just because I'm so sick and tired of superhero films. I'm so sick and tired of not just Marvel, but any... I mean, the last superhero film I rather liked was The Batman. And I guess you would call it more comic book movie than superhero movie. But I liked The Batman. But just... Is it as bad as Thunderbolts or Superman? No. Ideas of those, I would say this is above it. Would I say this is one of the worst films of the year? No. Would I say this is one of the worst superhero films? No. But I mean, watching the film, I just thought it was dull. I thought it was really fucking boring. Now, by the way, this is a paid request for those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thought streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, random reaction, tier list, whatever the case may be. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And again, I know a lot of people don't be disagreeing with me. I know a lot of people say, well, I like the film, or that's fine. That is fine, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. If people want that, go somewhere else. Again, I've named a number of films this year I liked. But people tend to ignore that. But maybe just at this point, I am just extremely burnt out on superhero films. And if I could not see a superhero film for the next 5 years, I would be happy. I really, truly would. So you have a film here that's less about action, that's less about spectacle, and more about family, which I did it. They're the first comic book family, one of the big original mainstays of Marvel. So I could make the joke about family, Fast and Furious. But I mean, they were, the original family, so I get that. Not mad about that. That made sense to have that. And to throw some positives before I get into it, just the plot. Okay, before I even get into that, this film wasn't much. There wasn't really much to this movie. I would say spoilers, but there's not really anything to spoil because really not much fucking happens. After a setup to know who they are, Chick Surfer comes in, silver titties and all, which is a no-go for me. 3 out of 10. She looks like shit. The T-1000 back in the day of Terminator 2 looked better. Explain that to me. How is it that the T-1000 Terminator 2 looks better than this shitty Surfer? Gets a message. Galactus is coming. That's a personal business, but, if he wants to come in, that's his business. Okay, make a fucking OnlyFans for all I care. But no, of course, it's the other coming. They get the message. They go into space. They meet Galactus. He's like, hey, you're pregnant, Sue Storm. Give me your child. I won't be hungry anymore. So I guess the kid's his own personal hungry man. Fucking food. We have the beef. We have the meats. So his personal Arby's. They go back. They spend a month making portals because the plan is to teleport the whole Earth. Which that took a bit of time for me to wrap my head around. Wow, you don't teleport the whole fucking Earth? But then Silver Bitch comes in, destroys most of them. Galactus comes. It's not a whole much of a fight because they can barely do anything. And it's really just Sue Storm and Silver Chick. Might as be the Femtastic 4, or Femtastic 2. Not Fantastic. Because the other three barely do shit. The Femtastic 2 push Galactus through the portal and everything's hunky-dory. So, they get a message, they meet Galactus. Escape kid is born, build some portals, they don't work, the finale. There's your entire movie. Doesn't sound like much, does it? Because I didn't think it was much. Now, they give some positives like I was going to do earlier. I like the look of the film. Having the 1960s aesthetic, but it's a sci-fi retro future, is a cool look. In fact, when I was watching the film, I'm suddenly going, yeah, I'm kind of like... But then I stopped myself and I go, wait a minute. Am I liking the movie or am I liking the idea? And I realized it's the idea. I like the look of the environment. 60s, but it's the future. I think that's a cool look. It's a cool design. And I can appreciate that. So, because I'm sitting there going, okay, if this is that same plot and characters, dialogue, actors, story was in our world, our time, I don't know if some people would be looking at it as glowing of reviews as they would. I don't know. Of the four actors, Vanessa Kirby, I did think did a good job as Sue Storm. She's better than Jessica, what's her name, in the 2005 film. Although I do like the 2005 film much more than this. I do. I do think the Fantastic Four from 2005 is the best Fantastic Four film we've had. Michael Chiklis, I thought, brought pathos and heart to the thing. I think Chris Evans was a wonderful Johnny Storm. I thought their back and forth banter was perfect. I liked butcher's name, Ian Grufford as Reed Richards. He fits so much better than Pedro Pascal. Which, by the way, Pedro, I'm not going to vote for you, number one. No vote for Pedro for you. Number two, stop touching people. He goes on these interviews and he keeps touching people. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Put them in your pockets. Be like pockets at AEW. Put them in your fucking pockets. Get some Orange Julius. Sit down and shut the fuck up and drink some. Okay? Or you drink from my dick. Just shut up. Get the hell out of the way and stop being in movies. Take a break. You can take a break for 5 years as well. I like The Mandalorian. I even liked you in The Mandalorian, but goddamn, man. It's a white flag. Stop. Okay? I did not see The Last of Us. I was never requested it. I never bothered seeing it because I thought the casting on both the two leads felt off to me. And so I never bothered to see it, although I do like the game. Anyway. But Vanessa Kirby, I thought, did a good job as Sue. The guy who played Johnny Storm, he was okay. He was fine. I didn't have a lot of issues with him. He was fine. The guy who played the Thing, I like the design because it is like the comic book, because that's one thing I'll say against the 2005 film. Well, one of the things is the Thing. I wish he had the eyebrows like he does in the comic. I think that would have made the character look better. Here he does look like the comic, so I like the design of the Thing. But it all being CGI and very noticeable CGI, I think you could have done that practical. Don't tell me you can't, because they did in that cheap-ass, low-budget Fantastic Four film with Roger Corman producing it. They did an actual practical The Thing. So if they could do that with 18 cents to their name, you're telling me they couldn't do it with a big budget that Marvel has? Try. Innovate. That's what they used to do in the 80s and 90s. Innovate. Now they just renovate. Renovate the corpses of these IPs and regurgitate and redo them. And people are tired. Even this film, which a lot of people seem to like, didn't do that well. I mean, people want to say it's a hit. Really? It's a hit. Okay, this film, it only made, and I'm doing the confirm, $475 million worldwide. That's not that fucking great. That's not that great. $475 million worldwide. And I've heard the film cost $200 million. If you put in marketing and stuff, probably $300 million. Some say 100, 150. So yeah, I heard that the production was 200, and then with marketing, you add in another 100 or 150 million. So it's like 300 million. So at least 200 million to market and make the film. And it's made 425 million. That's a fucking flop. I don't care how anyone breaks it down. That's a fucking flop. If they say you got made double, that's 600. It's not even close to doing that. It's petering out as at 425 million. That's a fucking flop. That's how, even a film that a lot of people like, this is how much all these companies, not just Disney, but all these companies neutered and devalued and lessened the impact of superhero films. Because when they come out a dime a dozen, they don't feel special anymore. And obviously, you know, I mean, people worldwide were not as gung-ho to see this fucking film, obviously. So again, I like the 1960s aesthetic. Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby did a good job. She had a bit of a strength to her character. I think she was a better actress than Jessica... I always forget which fucking... Jessica Alba, or is it Jessica Biel? One says Alba. I always forget those two, mixed up those names. But Pedro Pascal was a horrible fit. He does not work as Reed Richards. I'm tired of seeing his face. Take a fucking break, dude. The guy who played Johnny Storm was fine, and the guy who played the Thing, again, the look of it, I like the design, because I like the comics, but I don't like that it's all CGI, and there was zero practical effects. And his voice, I didn't care for the Thing's voice just felt so bland. Bland with no personality. I heard no personality in the Thing when he talked. He gotta talk like this, and then he's talking like that. Hey Johnny, go over here. Hey Johnny. And then he barely did shit in the movie anyway. He barely did shit. And Michael Chiklis, while again, his design, I wish they did the eyebrows. I like that it was all done practical. And Michael Chiklis really brought performance in the Thing. A sense of pathos, a sense of heart. You could feel the heartache, him trying to be nice, and feeling, you know, ostracized and looked at as a freak. You really felt for him. You felt sorry for him. Michael Chiklis did such a bang-on job with that. So while the design is not 100% accurate and perfect, he had the soul of the Thing. Here had somewhat the look, but I didn't feel the soul of the Thing. I did not feel it at all. And he had really no issues. I mean, all the kids liked him. He could go around. Everything's fine. Everyone liked him. Everyone was fine. Hey, dude, say the line. Oh, that's from the cartoon. Oh, come on. Oh, it's clobbering time. I don't really say that. But everybody liked him. There was no story to the Thing. It was a dull... They made him a dull fucking character that once in a while tastes fucking pudding or cake or whatever the fuck he was doing. They made him a boring, dull character. With a dull bullshit voice. So I think the Thing was awful, and I think Pedro Pascal was awful, and Johnny was okay, and Vanessa Kirby, I would say, did the best of the four. The opening was kind of cool because they didn't have to delve into the origin. They kind of did like a wrap-up of, oh, they did this, they went a cosmic storm, and then they show a couple of little battles. One that's a nod to one of the covers of the Fantastic Four, maybe the first one, where it's this monster in the ground, and Reed Richards is holding one of the arms, and the Thing does a punch. So at least does something there. And you see them saving people, and I didn't mind that. So I'm okay the way this is starting, I'm not minding. But then it just starts slowing the fuck down. They show the Mole Man, and they must have cut a scene with him because they show him ready to start a robbery or something. Then they just cut to the end, and he's been arrested. So they don't show a battle. So I don't know if they were going to show a battle and they cut it out or what. Like, why would you cut that out? Like, he just defeated off screen? I thought that was weird. We have the Fantastic Car, we got Herbie the robot, and we find out Sue Storm is pregnant. Pedro Pascal in this film is a dullard. He is just a damn boring and bland and no life to him. Then female Silver Surfer. Listen, I know there's a female Silver Surfer in some random comic that no one fucking read. For most people, they remember Fantastic Four being a guy. And I'm sorry, the chick looked ridiculous. The effects looked... Why is that the Silver Surfer back in Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007, even looked better aesthetically and physically looked better? She would talk and sometimes the lip syncing wouldn't fit. And even the T-1000 looked better. It was a shitty looking Silver Surfer, shitty looking tits, 3 out of 10, wouldn't date her even with a paper bag on. So, the shitty surfer, as I call her, says, hey, Galactus is coming. The four get on a ship, go meet Galactus. I like the look of Galactus. He's not a cloud anymore. Okay, I like the look of Galactus. Cool. He says, I eat, I feed. Where's the Arby's? I need the meats. You're pregnant, you got that kid has cosmic energy, it'll satisfy my hunger, give me the kid. They're like, fuck off, you can't have the kid. Johnny tries to burn Galactus, it gets chased. Silver Surfer, her shitty business attacks Johnny. The Thing hits her once, grabs Johnny, they both get knocked out. And then it's up to Sue Storm to defeat this silver chick. They get back on the ship. They escape. They go by a neutron star, do the neutron dance, and make the bitch go into the gravity so she'll be stuck there for like a month. They escape. Sue gives birth to the kid. And then for some fucking stupid-ass reason, Reed Richards tells the world, well, he wants our kid, and he said if we give our kid, he'll leave Earth alone. What did he expect what would happen if he fucking... It was stupid of him to say that. Because now the whole world is against them, pissed at them, angry at them. I'm like, that was a stupid fucking thing to say. When they ask if you're a god, you say yes. It's so stupid. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Of course, well, yeah, if we give our kid, the whole Earth is saved. But we ain't going to do that. You think there's going to be a lot of people going, fuck you. Fuck another. Get another kid. It's so stupid. And then even then, it should have been a lot more of like a group of people trying to get the kid, and of course the Fantastic Four stop them, but then they gotta deal with the number of people, because there'll always be a number of people that will say, fuck you, we're taking the kid and sacrifice. That could be some more dilemma and drama. They don't really go into that. They hide in their fucking home. They come up with the idea of making these portals. Sue Storm comes in and outside, and here's my kid, and blah blah blah, and everything's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, bullshit, that's not what would happen. Someone would probably take a fucking bowl and try to shoot her in the face. And then steal the kid. That's what someone would try to do. In the real world. Johnny Storm figures out these messages that was in the language of the shitty surfer. For some reason, the Thing, they give him this fucking beard made of rock. I don't know why they did that, because he looked fucking stupid with it. So like the whole third act, he's got this shitty looking rock beard that just does not fit. It's fucking dumb. It's fucking stupid looking. The shitty surfer comes in, destroys the portals. Johnny shows her the messages, and she hears the messages of the people who are crying out in pain from all the planets that were destroyed, and as if the surfer has never heard that before and known that before. So one thing leads to another. Galactus arrives. They made a deal with the Mole Man. They did some people underground. The Mole Man was underdeveloped. You could tell shit was cut out. I think shit was cut out. I think the guy even admitted. The guy who played Mole Man admitted that there were some of his scenes cut out. That's why he seemed so underdeveloped. Apparently John Malkovich was in the film. I don't know what role he played. They completely cut his character out. So it's interesting. They cut a whole character out to try to still make sense of a story, even with that whole character cut out. And Galactus, like, maybe Galactus is one of those characters. Maybe he's one of those characters that works in the comic book, but I just don't know if he works in the movie, because they could barely do anything to him in this big battle. Surfer's nowhere to be found. Johnny tries to burn it a bit, does nothing. The thing, Ben tries to hit it. He just smacked into orbit, and Johnny grabs him. That's where you get the shot in the trailer. Say it! I don't want to say it! By this point, Reed Richards is being stretched out like Laffy Taffy, and Ben and Johnny hit, and it's like this. Oh, like that's it. It just had no impact. They come down and it just, ow. That's as much impact as it had. It saved Reed Richards, so it did accomplish something, but it just felt like there was no impact. It felt like there was no, yeah, moment. It was like, okay, well, that's it, I guess. And it's just Sue Storm by herself pushing Galactus towards this fucking portal that go to teleport him. And that's all it is. Just Sue Storm pushing Galactus. Reed Richards, he goes up to get the kid. Johnny's somewhere fucking around. The thing hits some pillars and the building kind of pushes him a little bit. Johnny's gonna make the big sacrifice, but this shitty surfer's like, get out of my way, bitch. So it's the Fantastic Two. Sue Storm and Silver Bitch hitting Galactus through the portal. Alright, congrats to the Fantastic Two. The Fantastic Two saved the day. The other three barely did shit. Because they're guys. You're reading too much into it. I'm just explaining what happened on the screen. Am I lying? Those two are what eventually pushes Galactus through the goddamn portal. The Fantastic Two. Although with Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, I do buy Vanessa Kirby more as the leader, not fucking Pedro Pascal. Sue dies, the baby's on her shoulder, and because of his cosmic energy, brings her back to life. Everything's fine. Then you have the post-credits where Sue leaves, and then there's the baby, and there's a guy with a metal mask, and it's Dr. Doom. So that'll lead into fucking Doomsday, like I give a shit. Because I don't give a shit about Doomsday. Okay, I care about that Doomsday in the Superman comic book, but I don't give a fuck about Avengers Doomsday. Not one iota of fucks given. So, hey, people can like this film, that's fine. I would never watch this film again. This film was so fucking boring to me. It was... Like I said, the aesthetic looked cool for a bit. Vanessa Kirby and the guy who played Johnny Storm was fine. The Thing I thought was a letdown. They did nothing with his character. He had none of the heart or pathos of Michael Chiklis. He barely did shit throughout the film. I didn't really feel much of an impact from his character. Any other side human characters, I don't remember a goddamn thing about them. Mole Man, they set up, he's a villain, but then he's defeated off screen, but then he's an ally. Does Sue Storm talk to him? But it seemed like there was more shit there that was cut out. It probably was cut out. Then it became like a very slow-paced movie with not a whole lot happening. Meet, escape, and then build some portals for a month. And the final battle, I mean, it's funny how people talk shit about the final battle in the 2005 Fantastic Four. Oh, it wasn't much. And this was? What I saw in the 2005 is the four of them working together. Even like when Chicklist hits the fire hydrant, and then Reed Richards moves over here, then Johnny Storm does this to free, to stop Doctor Doom, and Sue Storm's there so he doesn't move, and like I saw the four of them working together. I didn't see a whole lot of the four guys working together here at the end. I had someone on Facebook, what do you spend okay, they're pushing. What do you spend? Sick a fucking dog? No, I spent the Fantastic Four to work together, and all four of them push him in. Like all four of them were working together at the beginning against that fucking monster in the goddamn ground. Not mostly be fucking the two ladies doing most of the shit. And the fucking middle portion was goddamn boring. Pedro Pascal sucks. Sick of his ass. The score I did not like. Fantastic Four. Shut the fuck up. Goddamn. Someone grabbing your nuts so quick with a vice that you just you high-pitched Jerry Lewis voice. Fantastic Four. Shut the fuck up. So I did not like the score. I did not like the pace. That was boring. That was fucking slow. I would never watch the film again. I know a nice guy Primator said on the Facebook, oh, the movie's epic. I don't remember any epic scenes in the movie. Maybe I saw a different movie. I mean, again, if he and other people liked it, that's fine. But these epic scenes people talk about, I guess I saw a different movie. Maybe I saw a censored version. Maybe I saw an alternate universe version. Maybe I saw some version from another universe, and somehow I was able to see that version. First steps. Yeah, the first step like a baby step, only the baby fell on his fucking face. It became the Alan baby. Remember that fucking baby. Dancing because that's a connection fit. How about Fantastic Boar? Fantastic Footstick, or the Femtastic 2. I don't give a fuck. I didn't like the movie. I'm sick and tired of superhero films. I'm sick and fucking tired of these type of movies. I don't want. Yes, I like the Fantastic Four 2005 more. 2007 one, Rise of Silver Surfer. I'm not a fan of that, so I don't know which I would rather watch. Okay, people won't be pissed. I don't give a fuck, though. Obviously, I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't mention it. But, oh well. I would rather watch the 2015 film. I don't care what that makes me. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, fine. What do you fucking do? And the world is still hotter than shit. And there's still clouds outside. And it'll still fucking rain. And I still got this fucking water. And I'm going to drink down my gullet. Because at least that film... At least the tone I thought was different enough that made it interesting for me. For me. I like that it tried to be like a body horror film and it was unique and weird. And yes, I will admit that's a film that at times got too dull and slow as well. I will agree with that. But Doctor Doom blowing people's heads up, I'll take over fucking this shit. I liked Miles Teller's Reed Richards a lot more than Pedro Pascal. Anyway. But at the same time, this film didn't get fucked with like that film did. If that film was left alone, so the director could do all that he wanted to do, but this guy they just let him do whatever the fuck he want. So that's not really a fair playing field. Because the director of that 2015 wasn't left alone to do and accomplish the film he wanted to make. So again, I don't think that's again a fair field to play on. Just different regimes. Fox and this was Disney. So I'm just being honest. If you give me the two films on Blu-ray, I'm like, I want to watch the 2015 film because at least that's a bit more different and weird and more unique to me. This feels like another dime a dozen Disney Marvel film, and that just doesn't interest me nowadays. It does not. If it does for you, I'm glad. To me, you never read the comics. I never said I read the comics. I'm not one of these fucking dumbasses on YouTube that's, oh, I read every comic. Yeah, you read 2 comics. That doesn't mean you read every comic. I don't consider myself a comic book expert. Part of me doesn't give a fuck about it. Because I'm watching the movie. Yes, there are certain comics, if I'm a big fan, like Ninja Turtles or Superman, but Fantastic Four, did I ever read the only ones I read were ones that Spider-Man was in. That's it. So, you're right, I'm not knowledgeable on it. I'm not here to do fucking research. I'm here to watch a film, and as a film, I thought it was fucking boring and fucking dull, and half the cast I didn't like. Galactus looked cool, but the action scenes were not really that exciting with him. Everything becomes a big CGI fest yet again, like all Marvel superhero films. I just didn't give a fuck. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. But man, this was dull and fucking boring. Just like this review. But at least, hey, we're copacetic. So fuck this shit. Later.